baby. It's me and you, baby. You're gonna eat it, baby. Ah!
Alright, baby, it's football season. Go Blue. All you OSU fans out there, keep watching. Don't turn it off yet, because I'm going to talk about competition. I'm going to reframe what that means, why we're competitive to begin with, and how we can move forward on this idea of competition. Because I'm sick of saying Go Blue in Ohio and everybody hating me. Okay? Because, you know, I grew up playing sports all my life, so it was always, how can I hit better than this guy? How can I run faster than this guy? And then I ended up going to the University of Michigan, Go Blue, studying musical theater. And there, again, it was a very competitive environment, a competitive atmosphere, because we're at one of the best schools in the country for what we do. And I remember one of my really good friends, he was a freshman, and he was one of the worst dancers in our class. Okay, let me take that back. I was clearly the worst dancer in the class, but he was not very good either. But every single day, he was in that studio, he was working it out, he was doing his pirouettes and dance moves and all those things that I was trying to do but couldn't. And you know what? He was the first one on Broadway in our class. And everyone in our class was like, oh, that's so, of course, you know, how could he get on Broadway and all this stuff? But how could he not, right? Because there are people out there working really, really hard. And if they're working harder than you, one day you will meet and that person will beat you. That person will lay you out on the football field. And that's great, right? Because that's how we're taught to think, you know, oh yeah, this competitive drive, we gotta beat the other person, but really, at the end of the day, that's not a great way to think. Because at the end of the day, we're all made up of the same things, right? We're all made up of atoms, just in different combinations. And the problem is, thinking this way came from Darwin and his theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. But Darwin also talked a lot about collaboration and how nature really isn't that competitive, or they are competitive only to the point that they need to be. So they only take what they need. But the problem is, the interpreters of Darwin really focus on this competitive survival of the fittest mode. So now that's how we think. That's how our consciousness frames competition, right? Kind of a problem, because it brings in this fact of separation. So it makes us separate from everyone else. So all of a sudden, I am not this person, I am not that person, I am doing my own thing, right? That doesn't serve us as a culture, that doesn't serve us as a community. So I want to reframe the definition of competition. And that is this: you are your only competition. So again, you are your only competition. And when we think of it this way, we can start reimagining and refocusing and working collaboratively together, because there are things inside of you that are trying to beat you up in the locker room, just like that video. That guy is trying to beat that guy up in the locker room. So imagine that's a part of yourself inside of you. But if you get on the field every single day and you try to train that part out of you, eventually you will meet that part of you after a lot of training and you will take it out. You will delete it out of your nervous system. And that's what we're going for here. So you are your only competition. So the challenge of this week is, again, I want you to come up with 3 things that are beating you up in the locker room, okay? And the reason we're doing 3 things always is because the brain works better in pairs of 3s. That's scientifically proven. Then, number 2, I want you to focus on 1 and figure out how you can train it out of your nervous system. Now, that may be a little confusing, so I want you to write all this in the comments below. And if you're a little confused about how to train it out of your nervous system, what does that mean? Let me know and I will help you. I will give you some advice and some tips on how to do this, because you can actually do it. It's pretty amazing. Then, I want you to share this with your competition, because you're no longer thinking that way, because you're now thinking that you are your only competition. And you know what? Everybody should have this knowledge. So, I want you to do that, and always remember, live in love, and you'll find your light. And I'll see you soon.
I mean, it takes me about an hour.
Actually, do that again because I didn't get your full leg.